Welcome to our daily success huddle. Super excited to hear from Jaymes today. He always fires us up on Fridays. But before we turn it over to him, let's do a few housekeeping things. First and foremost, let's talk gratitude. What are you guys grateful for today? I mean, it's Friday, so everybody should have something. It's Friday, Unicorn Slam. Yes, all you amazing people are already getting yours. I haven't got mine up here in the mountains yet. Sunshine, 3-day weekend, Friday, new promoters, life, good friends. What else? What do you guys, family and health. My daughter, my babe, Shauna, is going to Keto Academy and more. What up? It's awesome. My cat, Layla. I'm also grateful for your cat, Layla. Clear mind for the you've earned money text. Oh, yes. The Friday text that says, congratulations, you've earned money. Grateful for my hubby, the son, healthy child and pregnancy, painted workout room. Ooh, that sounds cool. Going on vacations with my doggo. Hello from Switzerland. Hello. Awesome. Cool. All right. And what about some shout outs? Who's kicking ass on your guys' teams? Who's a rhino? Who's crushing it right now? Who deserves some recognition? Maybe somebody brand new on your team. Maybe somebody that just committed to Keto Academy and more. Let's hear some friggin' shout outs. Caitlin Wolf, Mick, and Camille, Marilee, Devin Hardy, Shauna, Chantel, Jasmine. I feel like I don't know what happens when this thing starts scrolling. It's a weird feeling in my head. Jasmine, Katie, Rachel Robinson, my beautiful friend Tiffany, Deanna Phillips, crushing it and hosting her second Keto Life Party. What up? Amanda Dominguez, Jesse Anderson, Tim, Emily, me, thanks, Jesus, Anna Justice, Lauren, my son coming back to the conversation and starting to share again. Awesome. Brian James, Angela Smith, I am a rhino. Who, me or you? Because when I read that, I'm saying I'm a rhino. Samantha, Anna, awesome. You guys are amazing. Cool. Great. Well, keep sharing that Unicorn Slam, you guys. I love seeing all the live videos and taste testing of it. I still haven't got mine, but I cannot freaking wait. And I don't think we really have any other announcements right now, to be honest. I think the ticket, yesterday was the last day to get those ticket prices, or the Keto Academy and more tickets at their price that they were at. So I think they're probably going to go up now. But you guys are all rock stars, so you probably already have your tickets. So no big deal. Awesome. Well, without further ado, are you ready to rock and roll, BVJ? Oh, I have to unmute you. Hey.
Hey. How are you, Alexis?
Good. How are you?
How was it in beautiful Breckenridge, Colorado?
We got 11 new inches of freshies last night.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, I can't say the same for Southern California, but I will tell you in San Diego today, it is an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous day. I've had 2 sets of in-laws in this week. I have my parents in this week, and it's been awesome to, first thing that Alexis asked about was gratitude. And I look now, sometimes it's so cool to get in the presence of our, family member, whatever, and be able to really truly enjoy family. That's one thing that this week that I'm incredibly grateful for. Having the ability to have my parents here and share my family with them and, hash old memories and things. And I mean, it's just been absolutely awesome. So, on your success, on your journey to success, it's important to always keep vertical alignment on point. Remember, you'll never be, as long as your goals for vertical alignment are set, like why are there reasons that you're doing what you're doing, you're pursuing what you're pursuing, putting off the things that you're pursuing, you're delaying gratification in certain areas where most people, you see them getting into things to have good life versus not delaying things in order to have a great life. If you're doing it for the reasons that you initially set your goals towards and for, there should never be any conflict in your heart. And anytime that you do have conflict in your heart, all you simply need to do is go back and revisit, what are my goals and why I set these goals? Why am I pursuing these goals in the first place? I see that happen constantly. And it's usually only because people aren't in tune with what they're doing things for in the first place. So I don't know why that I kind of felt led to see that, but I hear it from time to time. I hear people being convicted of, oh, I don't want to leave here and do this. It's just the hard work of success. You have to understand that there's a reason why everyone on the planet is not successful. There's a reason why your neighbors to the left and the right, across the street, people you went to school with, are not ultimately where you want to be in life. And the reason is they continue to make decisions that keep them where they're at. And we just have to understand that, remember, it should never be in conflict with anything you're doing, as long as you set your vertical alignment, your goals are whatever your goals are, and why you're doing those goals or why you're pursuing those goals in the first place. So anyways, we are literally, and by the way, Alexis, can you still hear me okay? I think there's some frozen faces in here. I don't know if it's my computer or not. You can hear me?
I think it's you, sadly.
You think it's me?
I do.
Oh. Well, nothing's changed. It says your bandwidth is low. It's you. All right. I'll blame me for this. Hold on. Let me do something real quick. Oh, that's what. Okay, hold on here. Alexis, I need you to keep talking to me and tell me if it's okay.
I don't know talking to you. Definition.
Joe, hear that? That's my Alexa. I thought I saw talking to her. Alexa, stop. I said Alexis, not Alexa. Alexa, stop. That's funny.
Talk.
Am I still broken up?
I think you're still breaking up.
Okay. Your volume's like really low. I don't know. Maybe it's my computer. Hold on here.
Can you guys hear me okay? Is everybody okay? Okay. So yes.
Okay. Alexis, you're okay here. Fine. Oh, awesome. All right. Hold on. Alexis, why don't you start singing for everybody until I figure this out?
Oh, you don't want that. I can play a Jaymes.
Or dancing. You could dance too. We all know you can dance well.
I could dance, but that would be very awkward. Would you guys like to just see my booty in your face right now? How would everybody feel about that? Tony's like, yeah, do it. Yeah. Is that you up there? My husband's yelling upstairs, telling me to do it. Still nothing. No time to relax. Fridays are for.
All right, talk to me. Are we better?
Possibly.
Possibly.
Okay, you're sounding better. Your screen is still choppy, but I can hear you better.
Okay. Any better? Any better? Are we good? Are we good now? Still freezing?
Yep, I think we're good.
Are we good? Way better. Okay, better, way better. Go. All right, what's the last thing y'all heard me say? Or what's the last broken up thing y'all heard me say? My point was this, okay? I'm going to just real quickly rehash what I said because I have a couple very simple points that I want to make today. But here's the thing. I was just talking about this week. I had an opportunity to spend it with my family, and I'm so grateful for my family. But what I want to make mention to is that sometimes we get conflicted in our hearts, you know, about why we're taking time away from family or why we're doing XYZ thing that, hey, all the rest of our friends or all the rest of our family, they are doing things that are keeping them in maybe a good life or maybe not a good life. If you want to pursue a great life, and if your goals are to pursue greatness, if you want more out of life, remember this, is if your vertical alignment is correct, if you're doing this for, you know, your faith, if you're doing this for your family, if you're doing things, you're going to have to delay gratification. There are things that you're going to have to put off that would be really good to do right now. You're going to have to put them off to have a really great something even later, right? Does that make sense? So point being is that we don't talk about it enough, is it's called delayed gratification. It's giving up what you want now for what you want most. And when we're in a world where we put our faces in this damn Facebook and Instagram 24/7, what we're sometimes doing is we're viewing the lives of people that have actually delayed gratification to get where they're going, but we want what they have now. And the thing is we don't realize, and we haven't understood what they've done to get there. And 9 times out of 10, what you're seeing on there is complete bullshit. It's just a facade, right? So understand this, is that if your heart is ever conflicted in your pursuit of happiness, your goals, your dreams, the things you want out of life, I'm just going to let you know, it shouldn't be that way. And it's super easy to correct it. It's super easy to fix it. You go back down to the source, you go back to the source, which I guarantee for most people, you never figured out why you're doing what you're doing in the first place, which has left you on that plane to nowhere, that plane that we have no idea where it's going. So the point is 9 times out of 10, if you go back and you just set goals, you'll figure it out, because the reason you should be setting goals is for the thing, for the people in your life, for the thing. Every time you say, I'm grateful for this, this, or this, that's what you should be setting goals in order to achieve the gratitude, right? Or the betterment of the things you're grateful for. You know what I'm saying? So you should never be conflicted. It should never be, you know, that, oh, I'm taking time away from my family. I'm taking time away from my this, or you make it work. Like, you literally make it work. And when your family understands that you're doing it for them and they're doing it with you, it changes everything, right? It truly does. And this is how ultimately you need to ultimately learn how to work with your teams. You do things with people and for them, not to them. There's a massive difference. When we get started in this business, we do things to people. It is to you, right? To you. This is what you need to do. To you. If we do it for them, it changes how we think about it, right? And then we ultimately do it with them because we want to help them have success. So ultimately, I don't know why I got off on that tangent, but point being is this. We're in the last week. Next week is the very last week of this 90-day Rhino Run. If you look back, we got started at sometime in January after the holiday hangover, and we all made a decision that, hey, we were going to run this thing for 90 days. Now, if you're on here live, there's only about 79 people. When we started, there was almost 300. That's life. That's a pretty accurate. Actually, I would say that that's above average after, 83 days or whatever it is. That's pretty good. So for all of you that are on here now, big congratulations to you. Now I understand that, hey, some people are out doing things and things are happening. If you're watching this on the replay, you should know that, hey, you don't have any conflict. You know that I'm watching this on the replay. I've been consistently doing this. But here's what I want you to think about. There's attrition that's going to happen. There's attrition that happens every time, 9 times out of 10, we set goals and things we want to achieve and whatever. Because here's what we have to realize. It wasn't this 90-day Rhino Run. It was a guideline. It was an outline. It was a platform. It was the ability for you to have some accountability, to have some guidance, direction, coaching, and an example. Ultimately, too, it was for some of you to get that detailitis out of your head and realize, holy shit, everybody's doing the exact same thing. The same way they're having success in Colorado is the same way they're having success in China, is the same way they're having success in Kansas City, is the same way they're having success in Louisville, Kentucky, is the same way they're having success in Australia, is the same way they're having success everywhere. Everybody is following a basic guideline of attraction, connection, experience, and enrollment. Like that, everybody's doing it, but they're doing it with their own personality. What ultimately changes the destination, how far somebody is down the road? Remember this, people do not determine their success. Oh, Brian, basically goes against everything you've been telling us for the last 83 days. I want to take it and break it down for you real quick and help you understand this. And this is what I'm going to talk about. People do not determine their success. People determine their habits, and their habits determine their success. Big difference. It's breaking it down to the most simplistic level. Why do you not have the body that you want to have right now, even though you absolutely know that you can achieve it? You haven't created the habit to have that body, right? You say, oh, I can't have success. I can't look like, yes, you can. Absolutely you can. And hopefully, you know, the magic of thinking big, because this was a big emphasis. This was a big book that hopefully all of you are still, if you've read it once, you should read it twice. If you've read it twice, you should read it 3 times. Why? Even if you just read chapters 2, 12, and 13 and learn how to eliminate the failure diseases from your life, excusitis, right? For those of us that make excuses for everything. Remember this, accidents don't happen in life. They don't. It's either a human or mechanical failure. And ultimately, it's up to us. If you're willing to take, I read an article about Steve Jobs the other day that talked about ultimately accepting responsibility on all levels. On all levels. Hey, well, this person in my team's not doing something. This person, you know what a good leader does? A good leader accepts responsibility for everything. Everything. Like literally everything. If there's somebody, if your kids are not where you want to be, if you accept responsibility, you would be surprised at how it opens up a whole new way of thinking of how you can go in and start to lead by example and do the things to correct the situation that you've constantly been using as an excuse. So, you know, and many of us, the ultimate excuse is that we don't do this because of. We got to remember that, you know, for most of us, the reason that we're doing something or the reason we use it as an excuse not to do something is the same reason that people that are successful use it as a reason to do it. Most use it as an excuse not to do it, but successful people use it as a reason to do it. So hopefully you're starting to eliminate those excusitis, detailitis. You get too caught up in the details, right? Or procrastination, which I am so good at it. I'm an excellent procrastinator, right? We have to learn how to from our life. So this 90-day Rhino run, just like anything you do in life, it's about literally creating a habit. Now, most of us, what we want to do is any habit that we want to start developing, my suggestion is this. How's a way to do it smarter? I was told this by a mentor a long time ago. He said you could either do this really, really slow, and it would cost you more money, more time, more resources, or you can create some serious momentum and do it a lot faster, and you're going to literally microwave your time. You're going to microwave your failures. Why? Because we need to have more failures in order to have more successes. So point being is this, is that in order to get into habits, good habits, we need to commit to some momentum right out of the gate. Now, here's the way I look at this 90 days. So I'm going to break this out real quick. So I want you to think about this. Now, I'm going to literally use a kindergarten example of creating momentum, right? Because that's how my brain works. And believe it or not, so many times we look for such, elevated ways to grow our business when I promise you, if you would get out of the damn clouds and get back down to solid, flat, like solid earth, you would be surprised at how much simplicity will unlock the type of growth that you want to have. The fastest growth that I've ever seen in the Pruvit community was because it was a whole group of people that did not know how to do anything else. They knew nothing other than how to ask a question, send a video, and get someone to go MVP. That's it. They weren't worried about anything else. And as a byproduct of that, they hit every damn rank in the company, and they have made 6 figures, not even just a year, a month, since that period of time, like because they kept it simple, right? Was it done purposely? I don't know, but use as an example to understand the more we think we're missing something, it typically goes back to it's nothing with technique. It's literally our attitude and the simplicity with which we approach things. So here's the example, right? So you're down here with your car, and what you realize is that, hey, the gas station that I need to get to, that gas station, right, with the gas that I need, it's right here. This is the gas station. It's on the other side of this hill. I ran a car. Oh my God, it's terrible. It's a terrible little car. And we got to push it. We got to create some momentum to get to where we want to go. Now, we realize very quickly that when we start pushing this, is that it's going to take some work. It's going to take some effort, right? We apply pressure. And ultimately, we want to get over here, but we got this entire hill to go over. And it's like anything else in life. For any of you that ever started a diet or made a decision to do anything where you've massively transformed, in the beginning, it's the Chinese bamboo. It's a ton of effort. It's a ton of pressure. It's a ton of work with literally not just no effort, but it almost looks like you're worse off when you start than before. That's why most people quit, because it's like, before I wasn't seeing results. Now I'm not doing a whole bunch of stuff and I'm not seeing results. So why put myself through the pain and pressure of pushing this thing if I can just quit and just go back to nothing? And that's what most people ultimately will choose, because they don't want to go through the hard, they don't want to go through the requirement to do the effort, not see the results in order to get themselves to a place where they create momentum. So here's the way I look at this. And you start pushing here, right? And here's what's awesome. You've called somebody and you've called Alexis, because Alexis has already pushed this car up and figured out how to get it down to the other side. So she's going to call you, she's going to coach you, she's going to give you some insight. She should be calling you on the phone and say, hey, by the way, if you put it into neutral, you'll go a hell of a lot faster than that thing in gear. Just so you know, the first time I tried to push the car, I left it in gear and I wore my ass and literally it didn't go anywhere. So, hey, you should put it in neutral. It's going to be a lot easier for you to get it up over the hill, right? And then she's going to guide you and coach you and direct you, which is awesome. So you're going to start pushing this thing up the hill, right? And it's going to be hard. I look at this 90-day Rhino run, and you have to seriously assess your stuff. Every major run that I've made in my entire life in business has literally only come as a result of 60 to 90 days of consistent, persistent, all-out just effort. And sometimes that carried on. But the point is that it was small commitments that have got me to where I'm at today, right? I ran a whole bunch of little races within a really long, still running it marathon, right? So we have to if you want to have success sooner rather than later, that was the whole point of creating this structure and this guideline, which is the 90-day Rhino run. So here's the way I look at it. This is the 90-day Rhino run, but you have to personally assess out of the 90 days, come Friday of next week, you have to literally look at yourself in the mirror and say, did I really run hard for 90 days? Did I really give it my all out? Or was it 80 days? Was it 70 days? Was it the first time I ever ran anything structured? Believe it or not, I maybe my first ever, it wasn't a 90-day Rhino run, but the first time I ever did anything like this, I participated. I sure as hell didn't own it. And I was lazy in the process. I jumped in every once in a while when it was somebody I thought was worth hearing, or some topic I thought that, hey, I wasn't good at, or, I needed to get better at, when honestly it was all the other stuff that I needed. And you have to ultimately say, have I really put in the work, the effort, the focus, the commitment in this 90 days to create the type of momentum that I want to create? So we're pushing this thing, and it's not until we get to a point, because next Friday is when the real Rhino run starts, just so you know that. Next Friday is when the real Rhino run starts, because that's when you have to take personal responsibility for your success. Like, that's the real Rhino run. This last 90 days was nothing more than a place for accountability, motivation. Yes, it is, whether you like it or not. It was a place to give you some simplicity, to give you some clarity on the fact that, holy crap, everyone that's achieving success here is doing things the same way. Like, it's to do some really basic things. But the real Rhino run starts is next Friday, when there's nothing to plug into. There's nothing to hold your hand. There's nothing to help you eliminate your excuses. It will literally come down to you and what you want. Have you created a habit through the process of what we set up was a platform for you to create momentum? Because if you didn't, you're going to have to go back and create some momentum in your own life and your own business. So we're pushing. And it's not until we get to this peak. It's sometimes when you get to this point right here, you can literally see over the hill. If you've ever done a transformation on your body, point where it's almost like when you start in your first couple weeks, your first month, you look in the mirror and now you're looking at yourself in more detail than you ever have before. And you're judging yourself even harder. And you're like, oh my God, how is it possible that I've worked my ass off for a straight month and I look worse than I did when I started? I should just go back to doing nothing. That's not the case. You now have, remember, if you haven't seen it yet, go back into the promoter page. I did a training this last Saturday that was expanding on the momentum cycle. And what it talked about is when you start to do things with intention and goals and focus and manifestation, your awareness now increases. So you have a higher level of awareness of what needs to be done in order for you to get to your goal. And you're going to start judging yourself harder. You're going to start paying more attention to the details. So we get to this point and it's almost like we can peek over and we can start seeing the success that we want to have. We can see the momentum that we want to have. But I will tell you this, if you've never experienced momentum, you can't say, hey, I have momentum right now. You can experience it. And everybody else will be talking about it before you're talking about it, right? Like, it's just how momentum works. I can't really explain that part of it. It's not something you can say you have. It's something that you can feel that you have. You can feel that you have it in every area of your life. It's really, really hard to explain. That's why you got to get there. That's why you got to experience it. So we get to this point, and now we start hitting a tipping point, right? Now it's not to the point where all this hard work and effort of pushing it backwards, pushing it forwards, like figuring out what's the best way to push this thing, trying to get some coaching of how to do it better and getting some encouragement from time to time. That's what the 90-day Rhino Run was. It was to help you push this damn car up this is the Rhino Run right here. It was to help you and give you accountability and to give you motivation and give you inspiration and to give you a guideline and for you to create the habits you need to get this thing moving, to get it pushing. When you get to this point and you start moving down the other side, you realize you don't have to push anymore. You don't have to push anymore. You couldn't push even if you wanted to because you would not be able to keep up with the momentum that is now created from the downward force of your business hitting true momentum. True momentum. Like, it's crazy. But we first develop personal momentum. That momentum then moves into our team because we are the example for our team. I want to read you a quote real quick. Hold on. Wrong book. Sorry, I got too many books. Every one of you has the potential to be anything you choose, but you have to develop the habits, create the attitude, and ultimately in this business, be the example to others. Let me say that again. Every one of you has the potential to be anything you choose, but you have to develop the habits, create the attitude, and be the example to others. It's like, it starts with you and your personal example of momentum, your personal example of habits, and those habits and that momentum then transfers to your team. Once it transfers to your team, and if it transfers with enough force, it will create what they call supernatural momentum, supernatural growth. You can't even explain it. Stuff is popping, people are moving forward, things are happening without you, completely absent of you. Like, that is true momentum. But you'll never experience it if you don't first get to a point where you're creating the habits required for you to have the success through making a run, through making a 90-day Rhino Run, through making a 60-day run, through making whatever run you need to make to create the habits that are going to continue on after, right? And here's what's awesome. There may be, because when you get to this point, you got to jump on and hang on for the ride. And you want to scoop up as many people with you. But here's what's cool. I promise you, once you drift down into this gas station, some of you won't even need gas anymore because you got so much damn momentum. You won't even need to check in and fill your tank up. And there's probably another hill over here that the faster you get momentum and the more people you put on this damn car, the more and the faster that thing's going to go. And it's going to take that next hill with almost no force or no application needed. Sorry, this is my kindergarten, first grade, whatever example. I taught this to my son Atlas and he understood it, right? So hopefully you guys understand it. But that's what we ultimately need to create. It's about the habits. And you'll know very quickly come Friday whether you've developed a habit through the last 90 days for the success that you want to have ongoing. Or It'll also like shine a bright light on the fact that, holy crap, this last 90 days, but here's what's cool. If you participated at all in the last 90 days, you have a higher level of awareness. You have a little bit more certainty than you did when you first got started. And now you may realize that, holy crap, there's not going to be another structured Rhino run, or maybe there will. I don't know. But the point is that you may realize that if it's to be, it's up to me. I'm going to have to make my own Rhino run over the next 90 days because I don't yet have the momentum, or I didn't truly play full out over the last 90 days. Some of you played full out. Right now, you have started to create habits that you don't realize. You've planted seeds over the last 90 days that are going to sprout, that are going to take hold, that are going to create a harvest that you can't even imagine, that you may not even be able to control. Some of you will literally look back 2 years from now and you'll say, holy crap, it all started when I made it a commitment to my own goals and my own success back when they had this 90-day Rhino run thing. And I created habits that now I've carried on 2 years later, and my life is completely different today. My family's life is completely different today. The things that I experience today are completely different. The things that the gratitude that I have is greater. Point being is that, remember, we do not determine our success. We determine our habits, which determine our success. That's what this 90-day Rhino run was about. That's what it was about. If you thought it was something structured like everything else up until this point in your life that you could participate in, you're wrong. This is to create an awareness in you internally. Because like I said, the real Rhino run starts next Friday, next Saturday, actually, when there's nothing more structured. The structure has to come from within you. You have all the tools that you need to be successful. You have all the technique that you need to be successful through attraction, connection, experience, and enrollment. You have all the support that you need to be successful here. Hopefully over the last 90 days, you realize, 83 days, you realize that this is a really simple business. The only thing that's complicating it is me. So let's keep things simple. Let's go. So here's my call to action for you guys this week, is to absolutely, this last week, we literally have 5 more Rhino run. Like, you can make up some serious loss of whatever area you've lacked in over the last 90 days. You can make it up in this last week. But how much you want to replicate is going to be determined on how many people you can get on this car in the next 7 days. You can hard this weekend. Next week, we should shatter all the records for participants on this Zoom. You should literally be playing at a level in which you haven't played before. You should commit to no white space in your calendar next week. When someone teaches attraction, you put it fully into motion. When someone teaches connection, you literally go nuts. At some point, you have to make a decision. And every single person on here, every single one of you, is at a different place, is at a different percentage of momentum based on the last 83 days. Every single one of you. There's not one of you that I guarantee is in the exact same place. Mentally, emotionally, we have things that happen. So the call to action is very simple. And if you're in, all I want you to do is say, I'm going to play full out. I'm in. I see some of you already have. You got 7 days left to absolutely crush this thing, massively replicate the success that you want to have. Because, I look at the last week of this Rhino run as the beginning to your run. And that's engaging your own teams. That's creating your own. You realize that any of you right now could start your own Rhino run and absolutely crush it with the content that you've been given here to direct new people on how to do simple things to get their business started, to get it started fast, right? To support them through the process. So this is the closest I've ever stuck to my time ever. So I'm going to shut up and turn it back to you, Alexis. And I apologize. Actually, I would have been on time if it wasn't for my damn internet. So apologies for the internet problems this morning, but I'm going to turn it back to you, Alexis.
I think everybody's really angry with you. Kidding. That was awesome. As always, I freaking love Fridays. Like Jaymes just said, I just love the concept of the Rhino run doesn't actually start until it's over. Did that like hit anybody else? Like, whoo, hey, like wake up. If you've been sleeping for the last 90 days, it's time to get your shit together. And I also love that he said no white space in the calendar. Like, holy crap. I feel like the competitive person in me is like, I'm going to fill that calendar up. I'm going to get on some calls. I'm going to meet some people. I'm going to do the things. Super, super awesome. I think what's like so cool about this JOB, if that's even what you want to call it, is that, you know, it is really up to us and we get to do whatever we want with it. But that also is what makes it so challenging as well, right? Like we've had a call every single day that we had to show up to. And it's really easy to show up when you know what time you have to be there and you know that there's going to be other people there to show up. But when this ends and maybe you don't have Rhino Run calls to show up to anymore, like that's your responsibility now to step up, and maybe you're going to make your own Rhino Run calls, or maybe you're going to get together with a group of people and you're going to show up to whatever. I don't know. But that's what makes this, I think, challenging or more complicated. But then that's what makes those people stand out, are the ones that are going to push through and continue to show up even when there isn't a call to show up for, right? Your mind will be like its habitual thoughts, for the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Brian just put that in the chat there. I love it. And I also love how he said, this is the most simple business. The only thing that's complicating it is me. How many of you feel like you are the one that gets in the way the most? Like you're the one that's complicating it. You're the one that's challenging it, right? Ugh, so many good nuggets. I love it, for sure. So who is going to freaking run and charge hard for the next 7 days? Who's ready to rock and roll? Put it in the chat. Let's get the energy going. Let's keep the momentum. Let's keep the fire. We're going to finish this baby strong. We're going to get our teammates on. We're going to double, triple the numbers for the next week and like get the fire going so that when this baby ends, it's really the beginning. Like it's the start. And then we're running into Keto Academy and more. I mean, you can add something, Brian? Oh no, somebody else unmuted themselves. Silly people. All right, I should shut up now. Happy Friday. You guys are amazing. Have a wonderful weekend. Way to go for all of you that showed up today, and we will see you guys on Monday. Bye, everybody.